Take 3. I have tried to record this video a lot of times. I apologize. I'm recording it on my phone. Anyway, September is Suicide Awareness Month, and I think that broadcasting suicide awareness is great. The problem is, Suicide Awareness Month is a time for people to reflect on those who have committed suicide and try to provide information on what suicide is and how it affects other people. And as much as I would like to sit here and say that I completely 110% agree and understand the push for suicide awareness and suicide prevention, I think the problem is long before someone actually considers committing suicide. I have dealt with anxiety and depression for a number of years. That is something that I, as of late, have learned to kind of own. It's a part of who I am. Within this last year, I have been put on different meds and been taken off the meds. Currently, I'm not taking any medication for my depression or my anxiety. And I've also sought therapy. I saw a counselor, 7 or 8 months ago, and completed some EDMR therapy, which was actually created and geared for people with PTSD. Greatest decision of my life thus far. I wouldn't take it back. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. I would definitely urge anybody with mental illness to seek a good counselor, therapist, and shop for them harder than you shop for a good pair of socks, a good pair of underwear, whatever it is. You want your therapist to fit you better than the best pair of jeans that you've ever bought. So don't hesitate to see multiple ones. This isn't dating. You can't cheat on your therapist. Find a good one. What I want this video to kind of inform people about is not suicide at all. It's about mental illness. And the fact that our society is so judgmental in the idea that we want to sit here and tell people, don't commit suicide, don't self-harm, don't hurt yourself, but don't have a mental illness. And I know a lot of people are probably thinking, what are you talking about? There's this stigma out there, and it might be in part our own fault. Dealing with a mental illness is not something that people want to scream from the rooftops. You don't go on a first date and say, hi, my name's Kate, and I suffer from depression and anxiety, and I really don't like going into public places, and sometimes I just hate myself because I do. And I don't like to get out of bed certain days, and sometimes everything makes me cry, and I can't tell you why, because I don't even know. That just sounds crazy. But that's the truth behind it. That's the truth behind dealing with mental illness, is sometimes we don't even know what's wrong. And instead of people accepting that, instead of people understanding that mental illness cannot be understood every single second of every single day, we would just rather push it out of the way. You don't want to hear about someone's depression. You don't want to hear about someone's helpless thoughts. And you don't want to hear about someone's anxiety. And everyone constantly is like, you create the own storm. You can't cry when it rains. That's great. That's wonderful. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Being someone who has dealt with depression on extreme levels, I will tell you right now, that makes me want to punch you in the face. Because I didn't create the storm of my own volition. It's not like I sat here and said, you know what, let's create a ton of problems. Let's overthink everything. I want you to absolutely despise yourself. I want you to wake up one morning and see all the great things. See how extremely blessed you are. And then I want you to hate yourself. That's not what depression is about. And so many people sit here and are like, wow, you just want attention. You just feel bad and you want attention. And that's not the truth. And we want to sit here and say, don't kill yourself, don't hurt yourself, but don't feel bad. And don't tell people you're depressed. And don't admit that you're on medication. And you shouldn't go to a therapist because only crazy people do that. You can't create a double standard for people like that. If you don't want people to hurt themselves, then you need to make going to a therapist and taking antidepressants and taking medication for mental illness and issues like that something that is as simple as going to the doctor because you broke your arm. And I know that analogy, metaphor, whatever, has been used numerous times by numerous people, but I cannot express how serious it is. It's no different than me telling people that I use a nebulizer when I have bronchitis or have an asthma attack and I need an inhaler. It's no different than those scenarios. And yet people treat it so much differently. If you have a mental illness, I urge you, treat it like another health issue, because it is. You need to be treating your mind just as importantly as you treat your body. And if you guys know somebody who is going to a therapist, if you guys know somebody who's on medication, treat them the exact same as they were going to the doctor. If your friend says, hey, I'm not feeling good. Oh, are you all right? How are things going? What'd the doctor say? Hey, I'm not feeling good. I am having some really dark thoughts. I think I'm going to go see a therapist. Encourage your friend. Do not sit there and tell them that they're going to be fine or things will get better. They might get better, but you can't just sit there and say those things. Words do not fix broken bones. Why should words fix broken minds? Taking medication is not a bad thing. I personally don't do it anymore. That's my own personal thought. That's my own personal decision. That's not to say that I won't take medication later in life. I've kind of went off on a little tangent, I guess. But at the end of the day, we need to stop sitting here on our asses telling people not to hurt themselves when we are not sitting here saying, seek help, get help, talk about your problems, get on medication, go and make your mind just as healthy as your body is, if not healthier. And you're worth it. People are going to sit there and say every single day, you're worth it, you're worth it, you're worth it. But until you truly believe it, it's not going to do you any good. And for the people that are encouragers, for the people that are helping, for the people that are trying to create a healthy environment for their friends and their family that are dealing with mental illness, keep doing it. I know numerous times I've pushed people away. I have been distant. I have been mean. I have been confused. The number one thing that I can say is when you are in such a dark place and you just despise everything and you don't really know why, the last thing you want to do is drag somebody else into it. And that's exactly what it feels like. It doesn't feel like you're helping. It doesn't feel like you actually care. It just feels like, wow, I'm a terrible person because I'm in such a dark place. And now they are too because they're around me. Rationally, I know that's not the truth. Emotionally, at my dark times, I don't see that. It's not easy. Getting help isn't easy. Therapy is not easy. Finding a medication that works is not easy. And you need a support system. So for the people that are supporting and the people that are encouraging and the people that are helping, thank you. Keep doing it because we need you. And the people that are dealing with mental illness, don't be ashamed. Don't hide it. Don't be scared. Own it. Look at people and let them know. And if they care, they'll help. And if they don't, you don't need them. You are strong enough. You are pretty enough. You are intelligent and kind, and you deserve this. You deserve your life, and you deserve help. And we deserve to live in a society where being sick and having a mental illness are one and the same. And we deserve to live in a society where we don't have to hide parts of who we are. And we don't have to reject our struggles. And the only way that's going to happen, the only way that we can curb suicide, the only way that we can improve people's lives is by accepting mental illness and by accepting the fact that getting help is harder than anything you'll ever do. That's pretty much all I got. I'm sure I'm going to upload another video through September. If you guys have any comments or suggestions, any ideas on another video to upload, if you guys have questions about what my therapy experience was like, about any of the medications that I've been on, I want to be an open book, because I want to show people that mental illness is not always being crazy and rocking back and forth. And I will say it now, and I'll say it 100 times after. Depression, anxiety, mental illness, and suicide are not a cry for attention. If you think that I'm doing this video for attention, it's not for myself. It's because this is a disease, and these are issues that need to be addressed. If you think that people commit suicide because they want your attention, I'm not really sure what attention they would be getting, because they're dead. So, I guess if you can rationalize your point, that'd be great. But this isn't an attention thing. This is a mental illness thing. This is a health thing. And if you're going to be so naive to think that this is just about getting people to like things and social media bullshit, that's great. Move on. Don't share it. Don't watch the rest. Don't watch any more of my videos. Yeah. That's about it. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.